Emergency in California, where the governor is asking the White House for help.
7.1 magnitude earthquake has hit Southern California.
In the heart of California lies an ominous geologic titan, the San Andreas Fault. Over 800 miles long and draped like a suture line through the state, it has penned a turbulent history with a quill of seismic fury. It's a name that commands both reverence and dread, conjuring images of the earth shaking, cities crumbling, and lives forever altered. But recent scientific studies suggest that we may be on the brink of another dramatic chapter in the fault's violent history. Signs indicate an intensification, a tension mounting beneath the surface that threatens to manifest in an unprecedented seismic event. The fault is restless, its slumber becoming fitful. We stand now on the precipice, peering into the abyss of the largest potential seismic catastrophe in recorded history, the rupture of the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault, a prominent feature of California's landscape, stretches from the Salton Sea in the south to Point Reyes Station in the north. Various communities along this pathway are constantly under the threat of a devastating earthquake due to their geographical location. These communities include, but are not limited to, Fraser Park, Daly City, Desert Hot Springs, Gorman, and San Bernardino. Each of these areas share the looming risk of experiencing ground-shaking terror, with the potential of a significant quake causing widespread damage and loss. Point Reyes Station, a small town on the Pacific Plate, is a testament to the looming danger, where evidence of past seismic activities are clearly visible. Similarly, the communities of Desert Hot Springs and Gorman are located in close proximity to the fault line, making them prone to considerable destruction in the event of a major quake. San Bernardino, with a significant urban population, also lies along the fault line, posing a threat not only to the city's infrastructure, but also to the lives of the thousands who call it home. Recently, the scientific community has been echoing alarms about the San Andreas Fault reaching a critical state. Renowned seismologist Thomas Jordan, director of the Southern California Earthquake Center, has issued explicit warnings. He states that the Southern San Andreas Fault looks locked, loaded, and ready to go, suggesting that a catastrophic earthquake could be imminent. The century-long stress buildup on the fault line and a perceived lack of significant seismic activity in recent years cause major concern. This worrying prognosis from an expert of such high standing has amplified fears among Californians and re-emphasized the urgency for adequate preparation and robust disaster management planning. It's clear that the communities along the San Andreas Fault are dancing on a ticking geological time bomb, the detonation of which could unleash one of the most devastating natural disasters in California's history. The San Andreas Fault has been a persistent source of concern for scientists and Californians alike. One of the reasons for this apprehension is the notable movement between the Pacific and North American tectonic plates. This fault essentially represents a major boundary where these two titanic plates meet. The Pacific Plate, over geological time, has been slowly but inexorably moving northwest relative to the North American Plate. This motion should, in theory, provide relief for around 16 feet of plate movement every 100 years. However, the problem lies in the fact that this stress release has not been happening at the rate scientists expect. For nearly a century, stress along the San Andreas Fault has been accumulating. This buildup of pressure can be visualized as a massive spring being compressed over time, holding an enormous amount of potential energy. This energy must be released eventually, and the release is likely to take the form of a devastating earthquake. The inevitability of this event has put Californians on high alert and ignited a sense of urgency among scientists. The fault line, like a loaded gun, is locked, primed, and ready to fire. The longer the tension builds, the more severe the eventual quake could be. These factors underline the vital need for both understanding this ticking geological time bomb and preparing adequately for its impending release. As we delve into our exploration of the San Andreas Fault, it's worth commending the city of Los Angeles for the proactive steps they've taken to fortify their infrastructure against earthquakes. Recognizing the imminent threat posed by the fault, Los Angeles has put significant efforts into earthquake retrofitting of its buildings. This includes the reinforcement of weak structures, adoption of advanced engineering techniques, and alteration of existing structures to make them more resistant to seismic activity. The efforts are a testament to the city's commitment to safeguarding its residents against future tremors, an example of foresight that could potentially save thousands of lives. However, the urgency of the situation doesn't stop at the Los Angeles city limits. For other cities that lay along the path of the fault, such as San Bernardino, the call to action is equally pressing. The challenge of retrofitting goes beyond individual cities. It's a statewide issue that needs an immediate and unified response. The implementation of similar retrofitting measures could significantly mitigate the damage caused by a potential earthquake. The improvement of building codes, investment in stronger infrastructure, and implementation of stricter construction standards could collectively bolster these cities' resilience to seismic events. This undertaking is not just about preventing physical devastation, but also about protecting the social and economic fabric of these communities. Each city that fortifies its structures is one step closer to ensuring the safety and continuity of California as a whole. In our investigation of the San Andreas Fault, it's crucial to understand the monumental consequences that could result from a significant seismic event. Given the accumulating tension along the fault line, a magnitude 7.8 earthquake is a realistic and terrifying possibility. Should this transpire, we can anticipate extensive destruction and disruption. Current projections suggest that such an event may result in upwards of 50,000 injuries, largely resulting from collapsing structures and ensuing chaos. Economic losses are projected to be in the region of $200 billion, as cities along the fault line would be substantially damaged. Infrastructure, including roads, bridges, power lines, and water supply systems, could suffer severe, long-lasting damage, leading to significant interruptions in daily life. The recovery process could span years, or even decades, with the potential displacement of hundreds of thousands of Californians. Diving into specifics, certain regions of California would likely experience more severe shaking and consequent damage. Regions like Coachella Valley, Inland Empire, and Antelope Valley, located in close proximity to the fault line, may experience the tremor's full force. Similarly, the San Gabriel Valley in East Los Angeles, where sediments are known to trap shaking waves, might also endure intensified shaking. Such a disaster would not only test the physical infrastructure of the state, but also its social fabric and emergency response capabilities. Indeed, such an event could very well redefine our understanding of natural disasters, pushing the boundaries of our resilience and preparedness. This projection is a sobering reminder of the potential power of the San Andreas Fault and the imminent threat that it poses to life as we know it in California. To fully grasp the magnitude of the San Andreas Fault's potential, scientists have turned to simulations to depict the consequences of different earthquake scenarios. Employing advanced technology, these simulations create a comprehensive visual display of how an earthquake might unfold, showing the spread of seismic waves across the Californian terrain. In one such study, a virtual magnitude 8 quake along the San Andreas Fault was simulated, demonstrating the potential areas of impact, including the densely populated regions of Los Angeles and San Francisco. These simulations are vital in the disaster management planning process, helping officials prepare for an event of such an enormous scale. Understanding the San Andreas also involves diving deep into the principles of plate tectonics. Earth's crust is divided into large sections called plates that constantly move, albeit very slowly. The San Andreas Fault represents the boundary between the Pacific and North American plates. As these two plates slide past each other, they sometimes get stuck due to friction, allowing stress to build up over time. When the stress is finally released, it results in an earthquake. The rate of movement has been observed to be roughly between 4 to 6 centimeters per year. One of the more striking aspects of the San Andreas Fault is its physical visibility in certain areas. For instance, the Carrizo Plain in San Luis Obispo County offers a clear view of the fault line. Here, a discernible scar on the landscape snakes its way across the terrain, marking the boundary between the two tectonic plates. This visible evidence serves as a stark reminder of the geological force that lies beneath California, patiently building its destructive potential. Such physical traces of the fault also aid scientists in their ongoing research, contributing to our growing understanding of this looming threat. While it's easy to fall prey to the apocalyptic narratives often associated with the San Andreas Fault, it's essential to clear the air and debunk some myths surrounding this geological phenomenon. One prevalent misconception is that the fault is capable of producing megaquakes, earthquakes of magnitude 10 or higher. In reality, this is a scientific impossibility. The length of a fault line determines the potential magnitude of an earthquake it can produce. The San Andreas Fault, although substantial at about 800 miles long, is not nearly long enough to generate an earthquake of this enormous magnitude. The world's most significant recorded quake was a magnitude 9.5, originating from a fault nearly 1,000 miles long in Chile. Understanding these factual limitations helps counteract fear and promotes more accurate risk assessment. In the light of all of its perceived dangers, it's easy to overlook the awe-inspiring aspects of the San Andreas Fault. The fault's 20-million-year-old existence is a testament to the Earth's dynamic nature. Its formation and activity over millennia have resulted in a dramatic variety of landforms and rock types on either side of the fault, showcasing an incredible geological diversity. From the granite of the Selenian Block in central northern California that originated from southern California to the Ninok volcanoes in Los Angeles County, which are part of a volcanic complex that begins 200 miles southeast in Monterey County, the San Andreas Fault weaves a fascinating geological tale. This moving boundary offers a visible, tangible connection to our planet's inner workings, providing ample opportunities for exploration and the appreciation of nature's raw power. Now we must turn our gaze towards the San Francisco Bay Area and Southern California, two regions that sit precariously near the San Andreas Fault line. According to scientific predictions, these regions are under considerable risk of facing a substantial earthquake within the coming decades. It's not a matter of if, but rather a matter of when. The impending reality serves as a dire reminder of the fault's destructive potential. The 1906 San Francisco earthquake, caused by the San Andreas Fault, resulted in widespread damage and loss of life, a historical testament that underscores the urgent necessity for preparation. We must also recall the 1857 Fort Tejon earthquake, one of the most significant seismic events in California's history, which predominantly affected Southern California. The sheer magnitude of these seismic events elucidates the magnitude of danger that lurks beneath the Earth's crust in these regions. Taking these historical incidents into account, the warnings from scientists become chillingly clear. They emphasize that the next big one could easily match or even surpass the magnitude of these catastrophic earthquakes, ushering in widespread destruction and chaos. This impending risk is a clarion call for immediate action and preparedness. For Californians, these scientific revelations must act as an alarm bell, inciting an urgency to prepare for the impending event. Efforts should be geared towards strengthening existing infrastructure and creating comprehensive disaster management plans. From implementing stringent building codes that factor in seismic safety to investing in early warning systems and community education, the state must use every tool in its arsenal to mitigate the potential damage. The goal is to foster a culture of preparedness that empowers individuals and communities to understand their risk, make plans, and take actions to not just survive, but also recover rapidly from the inevitable future earthquakes. For, in the face of nature's might, our greatest defense lies in our preparedness and resilience. The cost of inaction, or even delayed action, could indeed be cataclysmic. It's an unenviable task, but one that Californians, in their characteristic spirit of resilience and ingenuity, are well equipped to handle. The San Andreas Fault's ominous threats serve as reminders that living in the Golden State also means living in harmony with the forces of nature, understanding them, and planning for their eventualities. As we peer deeper into the potential perils that the San Andreas Fault holds, it's clear that its historical significance is undeniable. This massive fault line, carrying the scars of monumental geological upheavals and the memories of devastating earthquakes, is a living testament to the power and unpredictability of our planet. It isn't merely a crack in the surface. It's a ticking time bomb of potential catastrophe, a geological enigma riddled with the intricate mechanisms of plate tectonics and the delicate ballet of Earth's lithospheric plates. At the same time, This fault line serves as a stark reminder of our planet's dramatic geological history and its inherent beauty. Its unique geology and the array of diverse rock types on either side stands as tributes to nature's unyielding processes and the evolution of our Earth over eons. For those with an inclination for exploration and a heart for adventure, the San Andreas Fault offers fascinating trails, pristine landscapes, and opportunities for discovery of geological wonders. Nevertheless, the crucial element to remember is that we must be prepared. The imperative for scientists to understand the fault better and for Californians to be ready for the impending catastrophe cannot be stressed enough. Just as the state has been working tirelessly to retrofit and strengthen its infrastructure, every resident must be vigilant and equipped to face the potential disaster. With every new discovery about the San Andreas Fault, we move a step closer to comprehending the nature of its threat and potentially mitigating the consequences of its next big quake. We appreciate your engagement with this important discourse on the San Andreas Fault. Please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts to support our endeavor of fostering informed and prepared communities.